All right, you guys. Well, welcome to the Candidate Forum for Rio Community's city offices. My name is Pastor Jason, so I just wanted to say welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And I know I want to say thank you on behalf of the candidates as well. I know they appreciate you guys being here to hear their heart and their vision for Rio Community's candidates. Thank you guys so much for being here and being willing to just to put yourself out there, to interact with the people, and just be part of this awesome community. So if anybody else has a question that they wrote on a card, raise your hand. Larry will come grab it, and we'll put it over here in the question box. Okay. Let me just kind of give a quick rundown on how it's going to go and what we're hoping for tonight. So, again, my name is Pastor Jason, the pastor of Sunshine Church. It was part of our heart to do this was to be a blessing to the community just by opening up the building. So it's an honor and privilege for us as a church to be able to do this for and with the community. So again, thank you guys for coming. In just a minute, I'm going to open in prayer. Then we're going to do the pledge. We'll all do the Pledge of Allegiance. And then after that, we're going to have a quick reading of statements from two candidates that weren't able to be here. And then each candidate, you guys will get 2 minutes to introduce yourself and make an opening statement for each candidate. After that, I'll begin to read the questions, and each candidate will get 1 minute to answer the questions after I read it. And then you guys will rotate who answers the question first each time. So please help me remember whose turn it is when we get to that. Like 3 people called me today and asked if we were live streaming. And I said no, because I didn't know the people that were going to do that were going to be here, but they're here. So, and I need to stand over here. They're here, so praise God. We're live streaming this right now. So if you want to watch it later, or if you know people that didn't get to watch it, it's on Sunshine Church's YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble channel. So you can check it out later. If you need to figure out how to get there on the internet, come see me after, and I'll help you. Each candidate will then get 1 minute for a concluding statement, and then we'll end and have time for fellowship and for questions for you guys to interact with the candidates. So let's go ahead and get started.
Also, I will be giving you a 10-second before your 1 minute is up.
Larry's the timer, you candidates, so look at Larry for the time. I don't, I guess, all right, yeah, please pray with me, you guys. Father, we love you. God, we thank you for your goodness and grace. Thank you for this time. God, thank you for Rio Communities, Lord. We pray for your hand of blessing upon this awesome community, God. We pray, I pray in Jesus' name for your hand upon each candidate here. I pray for wisdom from you to them, and that just that you would guide and lead and direct. God, I pray for your love to be known most of all, Lord. We love you. We thank you. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. If you guys will please stand, we'll go ahead and say the pledge together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Will you read the statements? Okay.
Nice to see all you people out.
Thank you.
I don't need that.
Oh,
Believe me.
Okay.
Huh? A lot of you people know me as Goldie. I had Goldie's restaurant several years ago. Okay, do you want me to come to the middle, or is that better? Tonight we have 2 of the candidates that couldn't be here for medical reasons. And the first one I'm going to read is from Matthew Marcus, who's running for mayor. Good evening, and thank you to all the guests attending tonight's forum and to Sunshine Church for graciously hosting this important community event. I truly appreciate the opportunity for residents to hear from candidates and engage in the democratic process. Unfortunately, I am unable to join you this evening due to a previously scheduled medical procedure. In addition, the City of Rio Communities did not issue a notice of quorum for this event. When the forum was originally planned at a different location, some candidates, including myself, were not involved in the planning process. With better communication, we could have addressed scheduling conflicts and ensured full participation from all candidates. While the city included the forum in its quarterly newsletter, the required public notice for a quorum for city council members and planning and zoning commissioners was not posted. Under the Open Meetings Act, no more than 2 members of either body may attend without proper notice. I kindly encourage everyone to be mindful of this requirement. If more than 2 members of either group are present, some individuals may need to step out to avoid any potential violations. This helps maintain both the integrity of the event and the city's legal responsibilities. If you would like to ask questions, talk about the future of Rio Communities, and share your ideas in a relaxed and welcoming setting, please join me at our Eat, Meet, and Greet event on Saturday, October 18th at Timon Park. Thank you, Matthew Marcus, candidate for mayor. The second letter I'm reading, whoops, I'm in the wind, comes from Alan Sinclair. He's a candidate for City Council. First, let me thank you for the invitation to participate in this forum, but unfortunately I'm scheduled for surgery and cannot attend. I would have loved to have been able to meet with you and discuss my ideas and concerns. Let me begin by first explaining why I decided to run for City Council. When the current council chose to approve an industrial type development adjacent to the residential area of our city, despite the continuous and very loud objection by the residents of the city, I thought I would run so the residents would have a choice and a voice about the way the area was to develop. The residents of Rio Communities have expressed their needs like safer streets, well-maintained streets, lighting, parks, and general cleanup of the city over and over and have not received proper response. It's very disheartening to hear that the city is now going to take over the maintenance of a bypass road in the recently approved manufacturing development, and the streets belonging to the residents are in such deplorable shape. We need economic development, but it needs to be geared toward the growth that has direct benefit to the residents of this community instead of the direct benefit of the developers that don't even live here. We need clean retail that the citizens can enjoy, like a grocery store, not manufacturing and light industrial that does not benefit the city financially, but adds negative environment impact problems and more heavy truck traffic. We need to encourage more participation by actually listening to what the residents want and act accordingly. City Hall needs to be more open and welcoming and provide full disclosure about its finances and operations. You're going to hear a lot of promises tonight from some of the existing council members about progress, but all you need to do is look around this city. We can do better. I want to wish all the candidates the very best, and whatever the outcome, I'm here for you. Again, thank you very much for the invitation. I hope to be able to meet with you all soon. Alan Sinclair, City Council candidate. There we go.
Should be ready to go in just a minute. Okay, I'll just, I got like a quick 2 more things. Matthew and Alan, I think you guys know, are both have like medical stuff going on. So just, let me just say this, if you guys see this, Matthew and Alan, I'll be praying for you, okay? We're sorry you guys couldn't be here. You guys, candidates, rules. I know we don't need rules, I am a former middle school teacher, so this is kind of like I have to do the classroom rule. Please be respectful. Please hold back any interruptions. So please just let each other talk. I know you guys will. If you have your phone, please keep your phones just put away in your pockets. We're requesting that. And audience, you guys, please just listen. And if you have questions, we took them on the written thing. And at the end, if there's time, we can do, if you have a quick question at the end that you didn't get to write down, we'll do that at the end. So are you ready? Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. My name is... Whoa, that was crazy. Thank you all for coming. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jo Skelton. I've lived here in Rio Communities for well over 20 years. I did rent at first, and then I became a homeowner in about 2006, I believe. I live on Brown Drive. I love this city. I go to the city council meetings regularly, and many times I'm up there speaking about something. I would love to see our messes cleaned up in our city. The trash needs to be hauled away. The residents need to take more pride in their places of home and businesses and the vacant lots. I have some on my street that need definite care. And whenever I was going to the city council meetings, I didn't feel like I was getting answered the way I felt like I should have from our council, which that prompted me to decide to run. That and also the passing of the industrial park. I was very much involved in petitioning and doing protests. I had my picket sign and I was in the street with that, trying to fight this thing that we don't want right behind our homes. I don't think it should be there, much less with a railroad spur in the middle of it. And I'm proud to say nothing's happened so far, and I don't think that we need to take care of their road either. I think they need to take care of the road. I just hope that you folks, if you have any questions, please come to me. I'm willing to visit with anyone. You can email me. I do have my information over here on the table. It's bright yellow. My signs are all bright yellow and red. And thank you for coming, and have a blessed rest of your day.
Hi, my name is Mary Jo Palmer, and I've been a resident here in Rio Communities for just over a year. Although I work here in the community, I run a local business. I run Pee Wee's Pit Stop down at the corner. I show a lot of you guys I see are, I'm familiar with you somewhat. I take a lot of pride in what I do there. I try to run a clean, honest business. I try to address community needs when I'm there. I support other local businesses while I'm there. Also very fiscally conservative. And I believe that as a politician, our job is to serve the people. And so that would be my biggest agenda, to listen to what people have to say. A lot of what I've already heard, I think, okay, I'm on board with that, I'm on board with that. I didn't come with a particular agenda in mind. I just wanted to let you know that if you have questions or concerns, you could always come to me. I'm always available. I'm in the store a lot of the time. And I do believe that I think we can do a better job as far as keeping the community cleaned up. We have a horrible, horrible issue with stray animals in this community. We have issues with homelessness and drug abuse, poverty. I think that those things need to be looked at and dealt with. As far as economic development, I do agree that we do want to bring in more businesses. I definitely would like a grocery store. And I agree with where they say about not having the that industrial park right there in the neighborhoods. Even though it would, there would be certain benefits to the community, I don't think it would be a benefit to the residents. And so I would look at that too. I said I didn't have anything specifically prepared. I work a lot, so I don't have a lot of time with certain things like that. But if you have questions, I'll leave it to that for as far as describing things, and I'll pass it off to Lodi.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I am Lodesta Silva. Lodi is pretty much how everyone knows me. I want to say welcome to my friends and my friends that have become family in this community. I moved here in 1999. I raised both my children in this community, and I have spent the last 28 years being committed through Belen Little League president, board, Valencia County Breastfeeding Task Force. I mean, you name it. I've always stayed involved in the community for whatever the needs are. The reason that I decided to run for municipal court judge is that I want to make a commitment to the community. We need to work together. We need to create a governing body and a court that the residents can trust in our community. So that's why I'm here, so I'm open to questions. I'm not good at this front row stuff, so one-on-one is great with me, or small groups, so whatever you guys need. I do want to, Pastor Jason's not here, but I want to welcome him to our community. He moved his church from Belen here just about 8 months ago, and I think that they're doing an amazing job with this building, and I'm glad to see this building have something in it after being vacant so long. So thank you, Pastor Jason.
Good afternoon, everybody. Rio Communities citizens, thank you for being here and getting to know the candidate. I am Michael Melendez, candidate for City Council. And currently, I also serve on the City of Rio Communities Planning and Zoning. I have some history working with planning and zoning in Doña Ana County, good 4 years working with planning and zoning. Planning and zoning pretty much addresses the land use regulations, ordinances, covenants for the county, and in this case, for the City of Rio Communities. We are currently reviewing our ordinances, our local ordinances here. It's open to the public to come and give your public opinion on things, public forum at our planning and zoning meetings. Now, the reason I'm running for the city council is, of course, it opened up, the incumbent that was there is not seeking re-election, so I decided I would put my name in the hat, along with the encouragement of many of the residents. So it's stepping up and filling the void. I know that we were looking for candidates to run, and you don't find people ready to jump up and take onus of a campaign and get out there and work for the votes and the support of the voters. Not everybody wants to do that. I do. I guess I'm just that type of person, just got a real knack for being a social individual and wanting to assist where I can, and in this case, in the planning and zoning, and as a city councilor, provided I win the election for the city council. But that is my case. I've been a resident here in Rio Community since 2012, and I have a great appreciation for the City of Rio Communities. Its quiet, rural atmosphere is something that I really appreciate, and I think many who live here appreciate the quiet, rural atmosphere, and probably would like to see it continue that way, but development is going to happen. Landowners are going to want to use their land, invest in their land, and that's what we have going on when it comes to development. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
Hello, everyone. I'm Councilman Lawrence Gordon, also Mayor Pro Tem here. I moved out here in 2016, moved into my house in 2017. I'm a retired police officer from New Jersey. I moved out to my happy place. I love it out here. First, I want to thank the church for having us, for last minute stepping up and doing this. I want to thank the residents for being here, because we answer to you. So I walk every morning, I walk like 6:30, 7 o'clock every morning, and I see residents walking all the time. And my walk usually takes about 45 minutes, and my girlfriend can tell you sometimes it takes me an hour and a half to get back because I stop and answer everyone's question. I don't want to bother you. No, I answer to you. So it is my pleasure to answer all your questions. That's what I'm here for. But being in my happy place, I noticed that when I moved here, there were things that were not here. So I joined the planning and zoning. The former mayor, Mark Quinn, he saw me coming to all the council meetings. And he said, I see you're here every month, every other meeting. You're always here. Why do you come? I said, well, I just moved here and I want to see what it is in the city that's here so I can learn where I am. He said, the best way to learn that stuff is to join planning and zoning. Yeah, he got me. So I was in planning and zoning for 5 years, and then someone asked me to join the council. They said, listen, if you join the council, one thing I want you to do, and I'll help you out, but you have to do this. I said, what's that? He said, you got to knock on doors. Let people know who you are. That's the most important thing. 4 years ago, I knocked on doors. Now, 4 years later, I'm knocking on doors because I'm involved in the Optimist. I started the Chess for the Kids, the Chess for the Adults. Daddy Daughter Date Night, we got that started. There's so many things that we're missing, and we're trying to fill those gaps. Now we have things for the kids. We have the adult chess. We're opening things for the adults. We're trying to make things happen so the community is growing and it's changing. It was a senior community, but it's now being more family. So now we have to move on to have something for everyone. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joshua Ramsell. I'm currently the mayor here in Rio Communities. I want to say thank you for everyone for coming out. It's an honor to be able to be up here and have those questions asked and answer them. I remember the last time I was here in this building, it did not look anything like this. So to Sunshine Church and Pastor Jason, you guys have done an amazing job, and I know you're continuing to work on it. So I appreciate you investing in our community and wanting to be here. It says a lot. So thank you very much. Just real quick about me, I've lived in Rio Community since I was about 8 months old. And during that time, I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and there's been a little bit of ugly in between. And 2015, my wife and I, we purchased a house here, and yes, I voted for incorporation because that's the best thing we can do for our community is to get those funds here within our community and have it at a local level, that you have a local government where you have more say in what's going on in your day-to-day life. I decided in 2018, hey, I want to be involved. And there was people talking about being involved with planning and zoning or different things, and they said, well, yeah, you go ahead and run for city council. It's no big deal. 2 meetings a month. Haha. Yeah. It can be a little bit more than that. And so, I ended up winning that election, and I was very quick to learn certain things that I thought were not always the case. And so you have to learn where your funding comes from. You have to learn how ordinances work and what you can and can't do as a city. And it's kind of shocking when you find out that you can't always just do what you'd like to do, even though it might be the right thing for the right reason. 2020 came around, decided, with some pushing, I'd run for mayor. And since that time, the last 4 years, we've seen approximately about $24 million worth of grants come into the city. Previous to that, it was about $1 million is what we had. And I just want to say, when we look at that dollar amount, yes, some of it was spent within City Hall for upgrades and repairs to things, but the vast majority of that, about 65% or more, has been spent on roads. So you'll see various road projects right now that are happening, but also with our police department, our new police department, and we've replaced almost every fire apparatus within the fire department as well, and including we have 24/7 fire EMS coverage, which we did not have before. So we're very happy about that, to be able to provide that to the community. I look forward to answering the questions that come forward, and I hope to get to talk to you all afterwards. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Williams. I've been a resident of New Mexico for believe it's 23 years, or maybe a little bit longer. I've been in Rio Community for approximately 20 years. Like on the corner down there, Jody, she lives on Brown Drive on the further end. I also live on Brown Drive on the other end. So I've known her for a while. I've known Lawrence Gordon for a while. When I came here this evening, I've never been to a meeting at all. So the way I'm dressed now, it's not me. But I came out, I was ready to go home and change and get into a suit. But I want you to see me for who I am. This is me. Now, when I put on my suit, I go to church to praise my God, who I turned to 4 years ago. And I thank God for having the opportunity to come out and talk with you. I am not political at all. I believe in fair treatment for everyone. Just to give you an instance, when I was a young kid, I was 8 years old, and I hit a kid. He was about 8, and I went to court. I'm from Virginia in 1968, and I was sentenced to 6 months probation at 8 years old. And I ask you, do you think that was fair? And if you say yes, then you have a problem. I couldn't spell probation, but I was on it. And my dad told me, son, keep your nose clean. With that being said, I joined the military at 19 years old, and my uncle told me, keep your nose clean. I spent 15 years in the military, loyal, dedicated, honest. I believe in giving people a chance. I don't think a young child should be put on probation. I think that young child should have a chance. I thank you for your time.
All right, thank you guys. I totally forgot to mention, if anybody needs the restroom, the easiest way is just go straight back right there. You can get to them that way too, but the restrooms are straight back. Also, there's waters and cookies after. If anybody needs a water or wants cookies after, please enjoy that. Easiest way to exit if we have to for some reason is that way, and that door right there is open as well. Just go around the building that way. Questions? Okay, who has the mic? Okay, all right, let's start down there. Yeah, please start on the end. Okay. What is the biggest threat facing Rio communities, and what makes you the best candidate to tackle this? 1 minute each. Go ahead.
So I think the biggest threat when we look at what we have within our community, we've started a lot of things that we didn't have 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I think the biggest thing we have to consider is public safety. I think that's our number one issue that we have within our community. And don't get me wrong, I know there's potholes, I know there's roads, street signs. I know, I hear it. So I totally get that. But I think number one, it's public safety. Without public safety, if we cannot be safe within our community, we can't begin to have those other things such as parks and other events that we'd like to have. People have to look safe they have to live safe within our community, going for walks and just living their lives. That's what we need within this community. One of the things that we've really focused on since we began the police department has been focusing using recruitment and retention money, also known as GROW money through the state. They changed that about 2 years ago. So this year, it's on a 2-year cycle. So we look forward to being able to work with our state legislators again to utilize that funding so that as we move forward, it's a step-down process. That way, the city slowly absorbs the cost of the police officers that we have. The one big thing that we've wanted to make sure that we focus on within our police department is we want to make sure that we're hiring good quality officers. We want them to be, community-oriented.
Thank you, sir.
You're good to go. Yeah, keep going.
Hey, wait, yeah, this way, just go down that end and start back this way.
Okay.
Go that way. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question once more?
What, what's the biggest threat to Rio communities, and what makes you the best candidate to handle the situation?
Well, truthfully, I don't know if I am the best candidate. I know I'm going to do my best. One of the biggest threats used to be, I think I misspoke earlier. I said 23 years in Berlin. I think it's 33 years. I'm sorry. One of the biggest threats used to be people breaking into homes. And since these guys came on board, I've seen a decline. So I don't really see any threat. I sleep well at night. In comparison, where I used to have to sleep and there was gunshots raining through. So I sleep very well at night. And if there is crime in the real communities, these guys are doing the best they can. And I'm here to assist. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I would have to agree with the mayor that it'd be public safety. When I ran 4 years ago, one of the things I ran on was getting a police department. And I'm happy to say that it's small, but it's here. And they do a lot of work. And then our FD, they're 24-hour. And the EMTs, everyone's there, and they're working hard for all of us. So just know that we're working hard to keep the city going and try to grow the police department. We're a long way from 24-hour policing. But slowly but surely, we will get there. So we just want to continue moving everything forward. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. The biggest threat to the City of Rio communities, I would have to say that it would be the faith that we have or we don't in our community. We make our community what it is. We all live here. We are neighbors. We are now involved in elections. And I think from what I see, I don't necessarily see a threat. I see some good things happening in Rio communities. I see the enthusiasm for the city. Again, how we manage our growth, how we manage our businesses, how we manage our public safety is up to the residents. You know, they come and they speak on behalf of their concerns, and that's a good thing. So I see good things for the city.
Can you repeat the question?
What's the biggest threat to Rio communities, and why are you the best candidate for the job?
Okay. I will have to say the good, the bad, and the ugly over time. I've said that a lot over the last 20 years in this community. There was times that you couldn't leave anything outside that wasn't chained down because it would be gone the next morning. You had to worry about who was coming into your house, who was walking into your garage in the middle of the night if you forgot to lock it. So in turn, when we became a city in 2013, we began to adopt ordinances that now need to be enforced by our police officers, by our code enforcement. And it's not a threat, but our ordinances need a lot of work so that they can stand up to state statute and be enforceable. I would like to see some sort of community involvement and volunteers to help with maybe helping neighbors clean up yards when they can't get out there and physically do it themselves. Thank you.
Well, being relatively new here, you know, I can honestly say I don't feel threatened in this community. I love this community, but I do believe that we have to support our police department. I know that they're working really hard. They're doing the best we can because public safety should always be at in the front of our minds when it comes to our children playing in the streets. And as a business running a business, I always worry: are my employees safe? And I like the police presence So to me, I think the biggest threat would be public safety and the working and continuing to grow our police department and their availability to us.
I believe that the biggest threat in Rio communities is public safety. About 8 years ago, I was fortunate enough to help found the Rio Communities New Mexico Crime Watch page, which is for our community. We have 1,000 members here in our community that is members of that page. And what that is for is to report that peeping Tom, report whatever you see and hear that's going on so that your neighbors have a place to know about that. Recently in one neighborhood, and we did not post this because they didn't want to bring attention, which is the case many times, and if that's ever your situation, this neighborhood had a peeping Tom. And so I just notified some of the neighbors in that area to just be on the watch out for that, because I do know where people live and things. Another thing that I think that needs to be addressed that is a big threat to our community is lack of things for our children to do. They don't even have a basketball court to go out there and play with a basketball. And I hope I can change those things. Thank you.
Will you lead the next one? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, hold on a sec. Please don't write cuss words on that. No, I'm just kidding. When are the roads going to be fixed, and why have they not been fixed? And this person doesn't like orange barrels. When are the roads going to get fixed, and why haven't they been fixed?
Well, I think that's a very honest question. I too would like to know when the roads are going to be fixed. I don't like the orange barrels either. I call them the New Mexico flower, and they're blooming everywhere. I can't wait to get these trucks off of our roads out here for them to go down their bypass road that who knows how long is going to really last, because they're tearing up our streets as they go down them. So that's what I have to say about that. I have no idea. I understand that there's roads that people have been told are next on the bucket, and now they're being postponed, but they haven't even really gone out for bid yet, from my understanding. So with that, I'll leave it there.
I'm with her. Now, I think our roads are a bit of a mess. I went to the mayor's meeting, and ironically, I had the agenda with me a little while ago, but I left it at home. As far as when these projects are supposed to take place, I'd like to see them take place. I'd like to see speed bumps on my road, by the way, but I guess it's a matter of time. I know that there's a process that they have to go through, getting grants to pay for it, because we really don't have the tax base yet to pay for all of the projects that we went, but let's just hope that it's soon.
So I can't help with fixing your roads because I'm not running for city council. But I do agree they need work, and if we work together as a community, we can achieve anything.
Yes, I have to admit that there are many roads here within the city that need repair, and it's taking time. I mean, I've actually gone out and done some road repair in front of my house on occasion when it's very evident that it's not going to happen. But I know that funding is tight, and getting that funding to spread across the full city, the full spectrum of our road system is going to take some time. And as a city councilor, that's what I would be focused on also, is making sure that we have the funding to repair the roads, resurface them, and keep our infrastructure as modern and in good repair as possible. That's what I would be doing.
In Rio communities, we have 40 miles worth of road, and we have a very small budget. So we go out for grants, and we're constantly up with the legislators asking for money to fix the roads. We do one project at a time. We try to do a big project that we can take care of a lot of streets at one time, like as you can see with Goodman Avenue. We're trying to work our way up there. Don Diego is the next one up. Don Diego is the next one up. So we're trying to push everything forward. The bypass road, the orange flowers, they will disappear when that bypass road is finished. So that's supposed to open up in, about 3 weeks to a month. We just got to get the DOT to certify the road, and then we can use that. And then those big trucks that you see, but those towers will no longer be here. Okay.
I too do not like the New Mexico orange barrel flowers. I seem to find them everywhere I go across the state. As frustrating as they are, typically it means projects are working. As Council Gordon had mentioned earlier, we have 3 main road projects happening right now aside from the bypass road, which was paid through state economic development money and also NMDOT NMDOT for interconnections. No city money has been spent on that road for the construction of that road. But Goodman Avenue project, that's working right now. The water company is actually replacing concrete asbestos line on that street right now, and then they're going to do a full repave on the north side and south side as well. You're going to see what's considered a complete streets program with lighting, not sidewalk, but asphalt walkway, improved drainage. Also, Damon Road just had an approval this past week for an extension of about 300 additional reconstruction aside from the original project. So we're very excited about that. Prices did come down, so that's a good thing. Don Diego, as earlier stated, it's going out for bid, waiting on one more environmental review.
I too don't have much to say about the roads, but I can speak on the barrels. Without the barrels, the roads will not be repaired. So that's all I got to say.
What are some of the obstacles the city faces when trying to create new parks?
Again, I have no idea.
Okay.
All right, so when we look at parks, one of the biggest issues that we have within the city, if any of you have lived here for an amount of time, you probably know we have 2 former park properties. One is Timon and the other one is Del Fuego. Both of those former park properties were funded through assessments through VIA, the former basically homeowners association. When the assessments ran out, so did the funding and the money, and those went bye-bye. Those are currently privately owned. The city does not own very large land tracts within the city limits. So we do have a park over in Chamisa. It's a pocket park. We'd like to see more of those. We also had just right up the street here from the church on Sombrero Loop, there's about 3.5 acres that was donated by the county, originally intended for a park. So we're beginning that process as well. Outside of that, the city has very small, limited spaces. So the big challenge is actually finding property that owners are willing to get an actual appraisal and move forward with that. Without an appraisal, we cannot even consider the property, and we cannot pay $1 or even a penny over that appraisal cost. So that's been a big challenge, working with the various property owners.
The mayor hit the nail right on the head. We don't have property, so we have to buy property. In buying property, as he said, people believe what their land is worth. But when we cannot pay over that, they try to find somewhere else to go to use their money. Because if a property's worth $75,000 and they think it's worth $300,000, they're not going to sell to us. And by law, we cannot pay that price. So then we're stuck trying to find ways to work around that. With the county donating land, that helped. So we can build something there. But that is our problem. That is our challenge.
Parks and recreation, something that a city wants to have something that residents want. Of course, it requires the funding for it. And the city as a city councilor, I would work and direct energy toward making sure that residents have a park, something that is very amenable to the residents. Right now, we have a lot of walking areas. I do a lot of walking along our riverbanks, out along the La Merced elementary area. There's very quiet roadways, take our dogs out there, and I mean, it's like a natural park. So the reality is we do have a lot of open area right now that can be considered parks and recreation. It's just not park and recreation per se. We do have a good golf course that I think provides that recreation for many here in Rio communities. Thank you.
So I can't speak to how we're going to get the parks. I do know there's available land in the community and sellers that are ready to move on from our community because they purchased back in the 80s. And so I think just some different communication would help. But as far as how the court can assist in this is we can establish a community service program instead of fines and jail time. Once we do have an established park or walking areas that as we assess, instead of assessing fines, we can ask them to go do some community service to help our public works department. Thank you.
I too would love to see the existing parks go back into existence, and I'm sure it's a matter of funding, permits, et cetera. I mean, there'd also have to be security would be a consideration, but I don't really know how to address it right now because I haven't done this before, in all honesty. But I think that we should look into it. It's definitely something that's on my mind. I would love to see the parks come back to the area. That's all I have to say.
I think one of the biggest obstacles in our city park system is that we had parks and the city sold them off because they said they could not afford to take care of them. So we need to be contacting those owners, seeing if we can buy them back. How can we get that land again? I believe our citizens would buy a tree. I believe our citizens would buy a park bench to go in this park. And I don't think it's going to be that hard. And that's one of the things that I really want to work hard for whenever I'm elected, is to get us a city park. That is one thing we need.
Did you start last time, Joe? Did you start last time? I think it's, yeah, okay. Okay, next question. When are you going to uphold city animal ordinances already on the books about farm animals? I have 2 hogs and goats across the street from me, and it's a health hazard.
Wow, I didn't know that somebody had goats here or things. I am a firm believer in, how do I want to say this? Farm animals belong on a farm. I believe that these are our neighborhoods, and I once had a neighbor that had a horse in her backyard, and it was insufferable for that animal. If you don't have the room for it, I think it's animal cruelty. So I don't know how you uphold it yet, because I'm new to this whole political sphere. But I do think it's something that needs to be addressed. I think we all love our pets. I don't believe that that in a smaller community like this, where we have small city lots, I don't believe that you should have livestock there. So. But I don't really know how I would address it. I guess it would be something that we do in the meeting and we listen to the community.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right. I do know that there are animals in several people's property, and some of those people have adequate area for those animals, being it chickens or something like that. Although I think that should be phased out over a period of time. And what period of time that should be, I don't know. But that is something that should be addressed, as this is now a city and not a farm community. I agree with Mary Jo that the farms should be out on the farms.
So I'm actually glad that this question came up, because as I've been door knocking, I've had questions about how do you feel about the animal treatment in this community? And they're not referring to the farm animals, they're referring to domestic animals. And with the animals that are running at large, that are not being contained, that are having multiple litters of puppies and kittens all of the time. And I would hope and encourage our city council that they establish an ordinance that is the toughest one in this county, and we can be the leadership and the role model for the rest of the county, and we can help keep the numbers outside, down at the shelter. And as far as the farm animals, we do have 1 acre, 1.5 acre lots. I think that there needs to be provisions for those homes if they want to have one farm animal or chickens or something in those areas. But other than that, on our smaller lots, I agree we don't need to have the farm and livestock animals. Thank you.
Yeah, so domesticated animals like dogs, cats, hamsters and so forth is one thing, but keeping of large animals is a different animal, and so to speak. And I know that prior to incorporating, this was rural New Mexico, rural Valencia County. So there were those who had horses and cattle on their property, and I believe that was kind of like grandfathered in. But we do have a city now, and we have city ordinances that we've gone over in planning and zoning, where residents are concerned about their neighbor having pigs, goats, jumping, and goats can jump around everywhere, and they can, unless they're not kept well, they get out, to include large animals. Now, dogs, cats, I see a lot of that, and I've spoken with residents who are very much into caring for stray animals, and their first step is to have the animal either neutered or spayed, and that's to prevent the overpopulation of our domesticated animals. But that's my time up, but that's how we would be handling that.
When I was in planning and zoning, I don't know who received them, but we put a survey out to all the residents about animals and who thought that they should have animals in their property and what sizes, the lots. We went to almost every single resident. And what we got from that was, it's okay, as long as it's not near me. So we understand the problem, because even if you have an acre, you have plenty of land for that. But the problem is that horses and goats, all of them make messes, and the flies don't follow the boundaries. They don't say, okay, this is the property line, and we have to stop here. So we get a lot of complaints about those issues. So when you have these things coming through, call code enforcement and let them go talk to the person. Thank you.
So just to echo real quick what Councilor Gordon is saying, yes, that survey was conducted, and pretty much everyone said, it's great, just not in my backyard, not near me, which is a nice way of saying everyone said no. They don't want it. And we do have some larger lots within the community. I just want to go back and remind everyone that Rio Communities was a master plan community by Horizon Corp. It was never set up as miniature farms or ranchettes or anything like that. I mean, it was set up as a suburban home community. That's what it was set up for, with future development. So the covenants do not allow those farm animals, plain and simple. Now, the city cannot enforce covenants. Those covenants are up through 2099. VIA re-upped those at the beginning of the century here, but we cannot enforce those. But I did want to go back real quick and just reiterate that the city never owned any parks within the city. That those were owned by VIA. They were a homeowners association. So I just want to make that real clear that the city never owned those parks.
As far as horses and cows and goat and sheep, I've never seen any. And I think there should be a code that that should tell you that you should not be able to have these type of animals in your area. I live in a community, real communities. I don't live in Belen on Harales. I used to, and they had plenty of goat, sheep, and smelly animals. I don't think any of us want that in our neighborhood. I know on my street, I have a very quiet street. I don't know the ordinances, but if I'm a judge, whatever they are, I'm going to enforce them. If you got a place, and you got a shack, cuartito, and it needs to be moved, if I'm judge, it's going to be moved. So stick with the ordinances. That's all I can do. If I'm a judge, that's all I can do. I can't go in and do anything that these guys, if they say I can't do it, I can't do it. But as a judge, if you hand me that gavel, I'm going to lay it down.
Where does your loyalty really lie with Rio Communities or Belen?
That is extremely easy. I am at home. This is my happy place. Rio Communities forever. That's it for me.
What is my loyalty lie? My loyalty lie in Rio Communities. I've lived in Belen. I stayed in Belen for about 10 years, and then I migrated over here, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. The community was small when I got here. I've seen it grow. The people are very nice, some of the nicest people I've ever met. And I just want to give you give yourselves an applaud. But I love Rio Communities. It's quiet. There's racism everywhere. I don't see it. So I love my community. So thank you.
Well, for me, that's pretty easy. It's with the community that I live in, Rio Communities. I remember, a long time ago when Rio Communities was first established, meeting in donated space. We didn't have a city hall. We didn't have anything, really. It was almost if you said Rio Communities, if you whispered it a little too loud, it would just, evaporate in the air. So, I remember those days. And, when I look at our community today, from where we were to where we are, we've grown tremendously as a community. We're developing our own self-identity. We want to be our own community. And the best way to do that is the path that we're going down, having our own self-governance, having the ability to do the things that we want to do and not rely on people that are, 10 miles away or 90 miles away or 1,400 miles away or whatever it is. But hands down, it's Rio Communities.
Yes, I've been a resident here since 2012. I had some experience here working with the assisted housing out of the village of Los Lunas, and there were some residences that lived here in Rio Communities, and when I would come down here, I'd be like another visit to the city of Rio Communities, and I've had consistent visits until in 2012 where I met with Pam Cordova, who's currently my wife, and she lives in Rio Communities, and here I am in a community that I had been visiting on occasion, and now I'm decided I would live here also in Rio Communities, and so far for the past 13 years I've just had nothing but good things with the city, and I'm a very happy resident, and look forward to seeing that the city maintains that good atmosphere.
So I'm glad this question came up because I know that there has been some people out spreading lies that some people that are running for office want to disincorporate, go back to the county, join Belen. So I think everybody's forefront, Rio Communities is number one. Rio Communities has my heart. It's had it for a long time. But my love language is service. So I do sit on Belen Planning and Zoning as the chairperson. I've had great education. I just returned from the Municipal League Planning and Zoning training. I came back early to attend this today, and they had some great training. I wish we would have seen some Rio Communities commissioners there and our code enforcement. So I will never stop serving the community, whether it's Belen, Los Lunas, or here. Or who knows, I might go to Mountain Air because I love that community as well. But Rio Communities, I raised my kids here, and this has my heart. Thank you.
What's Belen? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Actually, I used to live in Belen, but I came here a couple of years ago to work in this community. I fell in love with this community. This is where I moved to. I chose to come here. My loyalty is right here.
My loyalty definitely lies here in Rio Communities. I would love to see us get some businesses and bring the Belen people across the river this direction. I would love to see us get our very own zip code so that our money doesn't go to Belen, it stays here in our community.
And I think Lodi gets to start this one. Okay. A lot has been said about the industrial zone south of the city. What is the truth about its ownership and its zoning?
So I can speak to that. It's owned by a corporation. It's headed by Harvey Yates. It was zoned business manufacturing a few years ago. The industrial park is headed by Yates as well. That is in the county, and I know we've had a hum in our community that is coming from that area. So that hum needs to be addressed with Valencia County Code Enforcement. All of our ordinances, again, need work if we're going to protect our residents and our community for long-term goals. So that's where I would put you guys in to go visit your city councilors, call them. Let's make sure that our ordinances are what you want to see in this community. Thank you.
Yes, the commercial and industrial sector of the city is it's not that robust, but this is a situation with regard to the city facilitating industry moving in, and in this case, Arcosa manufacturer indicated, of course, they're going to need to be transporting their product, which is these huge towers, and they're going to have to go through the city, but the city did what it could to assess the situation and bring in the New Mexico Highway Department, the city itself, the Arcosa company, and the landowner who was willing to have the road developed on his property. So the situation was answered and came to a solution, and I believe it's a good solution for the city.
Okay, the business manufacturing park south of the city, before that bypass road is in the city. After it, it is in the county. So that industrial park that's south where the humming is coming from is a county situation right now. So yes, Lodi was absolutely right. County code enforcement have to be contacted to try to find out what's going on with that sound and figure it out. The business manufacturing part, that bypass road, when we found out that Arcosa was going in that location where they are, we did not want all that traffic through the center of the city. So we made it a point to ask Mr. Yates if he would let us, if he would donate that land, his personal land or his corporation's land, to make a road through there so those trucks would not come through the city. And that's how that happened.
Just to kind of take off where you left off there, the business manufacturing zoned area, it was originally zoned as planned development, which pretty much meant it could be anything. And the way that it was actually laid out, it was not set up for homes at that time, which means it could have been anything. There's other parts of the city that are zoned as planned development, meaning that they could have many future uses. The property owners, there's more than one, there's 3 of them actually, and they wanted to see development within the city, which is good for us as the residents. The reason why is because the more development that you have, those businesses are paying a larger share of GRT and property tax, which funds the things that we want, like 24/7 police, parks, roads getting repaved, which currently the cost, according to DOT, is about $3 million per mile for a simple repave. That's kind of a lot of money for us here in Rio Communities. It's just a simple thing of our community. If we stay just a plain bedroom community, things will not change. We'll continue to see 40, 50-year-old infrastructure continue to decline, and we will not have the things that we want, such as street lighting in the parks and the public safety that we truly want. And then real quick, I know the zip code was brought up earlier. I just wanted to go back to that. When you buy anything, make sure you're putting Rio Communities or Rio Com. And what happens, yes, we do share a zip code. It's not designated just for Belen. We've been recognized by the Postal Service. When you put Rio Communities or Rio Com, COMM, that GRT does come back to the city. So please make sure as you're buying stuff, Amazon or wherever, that you're actually putting that in, because it really does. It goes right back into your community that you live in.
I can't truly speak on what's going on south of Belen because I believe it's out of my pay grade, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I think it, is it still on? Oh, okay, there we go. I think it comes down to that we still have to pay attention to what the residents want as far as what goes on in their own community, what they do with that industrial park. I think that you people have a voice, and I think you need to use it, and then we have to be responsive to that.
Boy, this is a pet peeve of mine. And it's one of the reasons why I chose to run. I was very much against this industrial zoning. I have not been for it one day since it started. I don't think that's what the citizens want. We had over 200 citizens inside City Hall the night it was voted on by our current council, and I think that's horrible. Like I said earlier, I was out there protesting with my little picket signs, and I do still have them in my garage, so I'm ready to go again. And I do not want the industrial area in this part of the city. I do not want to become another Broadway south of Albuquerque, and that's where I stand.
Thank you. As the daughter of a Pearl Harbor survivor and a widow of a Navy veteran, I would like to know why the Veterans Park progress is now on hold until after the election.
It's not, from my understanding, it's not on hold. It's actually going as planned. There will be a memorial site, or there is a memorial site that hasn't been designated, and it will be completed pretty much on time from what I gather.
Yes, it is moving forward. We had a vote on Monday about the project. Tuesday, sorry, Indigenous Peoples Day Monday. So Tuesday, there was a vote. It wound up being a 3-2 vote to move that forward. So it is going to be moving forward. I'm happy to say for all you vets that it is going to be moving forward.
Yes, that is correct. The Veterans Memorial that had been worked on by the Veterans Committee, various members from the committee, a couple members from council. It's been a long time working with engineers and architects to figure out, what design we'd like to see within the community and get that public input. I'm very happy to say that is moving forward. The phase 1 was approved on Tuesday night, just as our Mayor Pro Tem is telling everyone here. So that is not put on hold. That is moving forward.
I'm not sure about what's moving forward, but I am a veteran, and if I can have any input on the design, I would be more than happy to do so. So I'll leave it at that.
You're always welcome.
Yes, I believe it is moving forward. I definitely think that we can be greater than what we are now. And I do have a veteran in my household too, so I do support the veterans. Thanks.
My dad is a survivor from Pearl Harbor as well. Hope we meet sometime. I'm glad to hear it's moving forward.
Yes, the Veterans Park is moving forward. It is between two buildings next to City Hall, south. So it probably has 25-ish feet wide. I'm not sure how wide it is, but it's going to be hidden between two buildings. They're going to put some cement and some flagpoles and probably a few other things so people can have a seat out there. It's a very small area. It's not in a prominent place as it should be so that it can recognize our local veterans. I don't think it's put in the right place.
Yeah. Oh, did you guys all start? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Why are we not utilizing City Hall as a community center as promised? We have a Senior Olympics exercise group that needs a venue.
Very good question. I have no idea. But I would love to see it being used as a community center. I noticed that Lawrence Gordon here, he's doing the chess. I'm also an avid chess player. I'll go back a little bit. I was at Berlin High School as a chess coach, and we took Berlin to state. So I would love to see something done with that area as far as recreation or whatever. I also have grandkids, and they would have a place to go. Right now, there's nowhere for them to go. They have to sit at home. And I know right behind, what's that building called? Where they go to play golf, the golf course. There's an area right by my daughter's house. There used to be a tennis court, and now it's just full of weeds. So that's not conducive to anyone. I would just love to see something done in the community as well.
Just want to reiterate, you're talking about the City Hall as a community center?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure I didn't go off on something else. So City Hall from the beginning, when that building was purchased, utilizing capital appropriations, that comes from the legislature. That building was purchased, and the whole idea was that the entire building would be utilized pretty much for the community. And so from the beginning of that design, the whole purpose has been office space within the city. The city staffers are going to utilize a very small portion of the footprint of the building. And I would say the city staff occupies probably less than 20% of the building total. We do have a large room similar to this size within City Hall. It's still within its kind of original state to when the city took over. There's been some upgrades within that building, in that room, but there's many things that need to be done. And so it's one of those things, like the City Hall still needs, we needed a roof replacement, make sure that's on the ICIP, getting capital outlay money for that. So it's one of those things of, we can use the building. Optimus uses it. I know the chess is there. We've had the daddy-daughter dances over there. So it has been. Oh, I'm sorry, that was at the golf course, but we utilize it for the chess. We've had other community events within there, but I know we'd always be happy to engage Special Olympics anytime to see what we could do to provide for them.
We do use the building, the big room, for community events. The police department had a movie night there, and with popcorn and ice pops and everything else. We've had Christmas parties there. With the Optimus Club, we use it for the robotics in the summer. The room is used often. When I first started the chess program, it was in that same space. So we use that area. We use the maker space where they have sewing machines and different things that we're just looking for people to instruct people, different residents, how to use the space. So we're looking for opportunities to use more and more of that space.
Yes, the community center. Of course, I've been to the City Hall area, and I've attended other little events in various other rooms of the community center, City Hall, so to speak. And as a visitor, you know, I'm impressed. You know, they've done a few things. There's a few programs going on, like chess on Wednesday, and then there's a few other programs. They do need individuals to kind of help out in areas. Yeah. And like this Saturday, there's going to be a health fair. Earlier, there was a little celebrating Rio Communities car show going on, plus various booths. So it is being used as a community center, and we encourage people to come out and be a part of the city. And it's booming, right? So, yeah, we're doing good as it is.
Okay, I'm going to take this one and answer this as a resident. $75,000 in the makerspace, 3D printers, laser engravers, sewing machines, tables that have been replaced twice, and our residents don't see it. And I want to say why. Why do we not have community programs? One, I can say it's probably staffing levels. How do we pay for a staff member to have that open on the weekends? But I know that in the past, I have introduced and made connections with sewers that would be willing to teach sewing classes at no charge. People that would get the laser engravers set up and operational at no charge, and help teach those classes. That's a lot of money that we have sitting there that our youth could use. So that's my answer as a community member. Thank you.
Wow, good answer, Lodi. Yeah, I'd like to see it utilized as well. I don't know that much about it. I've been to a few city council meetings over there because I'm still really new here. But I think it's an untapped resource that we could use for the community. I do know there is that wellness fair tomorrow, isn't it? So I mean, it is being used for some community events, and maybe it just takes more community involvement to get things moving in that direction.
Well, I want to backtrack a little bit. The Veterans Park was approved for $150,000, and that's for phase 1. Now I'll go on to City Hall. I didn't know that we had sewing machines and all the things that Lodi was just telling us about that was available to our community. And if we have people willing to teach those kind of classes, why is it not being utilized? Why is that not being put out there for the public? And maybe that teacher isn't available any longer, but maybe somebody else who's even here tonight knows how to teach those classes. I didn't even hear about those. And I do know sometimes you can't even get in City Hall, and I do know that is true.
And I think it's your turn to start, I think, Joe. Okay. How will you handle the homeless problem in Rio Communities?
Short answer, but I'm going to take it back to Albuquerque. I feel like that the homeless people can have a job if they want one. I have had several jobs at one time as a single mother to raise my children, and there's a job out there for anyone who wants it. I have been approached at different stores at different times when I've been in Belen, and the people have asked me for money, and I tell them to get a rake and go knock on a door. Somebody out there needs their yard raked, and they can go earn some money. I'm not going to give homeless people money because I know what they do with it. I do have sympathy for some homeless people, and I do know that their most coveted item they can get is a pair of clean, fresh socks. I rode the public transportation and the train for many years when I worked up in Albuquerque and retired from the court system, and so I visited with many homeless people. But many of them choose to be homeless and they do not want to go to the shelters. They want to live underneath the stars. And the reason they want to live out there is because they don't want their suitcases and their bags searched. They want to be able to get drunk and have their other recreational drugs as they would like to do.
Homelessness is a multi-tiered society problem, I think. It's not just a choice. I mean, yes, I know for some people there are, but I think it goes down to a larger thing where there's a lot of people who are ill-equipped to deal with life. They're not trained by strong families and good roots. And drugs are a big part of it, and then mental illness as well. I really don't know how you address it if you don't address the root. And I mean, it's one thing to put them on a bus and send them back to Albuquerque, and I've heard of the possibility of doing a shuttle, but I think they'd come back, and I think there has to be bigger solutions to that. I know at my store, I try to treat them with kindness. I give them something to eat, I give them something to drink, but I tell them that this is private property, you can't hang out here. But I don't know what the answer is. But I think, first of all, we have to treat people with compassion no matter what level they're at in their life.
So homelessness at the court level comes from a lot of different areas, and there's a lot of things going on at the national level regarding the rights of squatters and homeless people, their domiciles. So that would have to be looked at by the city council and also follow state statute to establish the way we want to go as a community and how we want to address that. I know Horizon Corporation, when they started our community, did not do us any favors by establishing 3 million quarter-acre, half-acre, 1-acre lots that we cannot ever get utilities to because we have 3 million different owners. So we have to end up figuring out how to, if a person actually owns a lot and they're living there, or if they're squatting. I know that most of them are in the county, but we do have some that are being lived on currently with no utilities. Thank you.
Yes, homelessness come under public safety, quality of life here in the city of Rio Communities. And yes, there are those who either can't afford a home or have chosen not to be in a home and enjoy living outdoors. But the public safety and our quality of life is one of the things that I'm looking at insofar as a city councilor, and how the city is programs that it has for those who are homeless, and temporary housing areas for them is programs that I would look at doing to include residents who are willing to assist in the homelessness that we have here in Rio Communities. I can't say that I know anyone who is homeless personally right now, but I know it's tough for them.
I dealt with this a lot as a police officer, and it's not an easy fix. You have those who have mental illness and drug addicted. They have to be handled different than a person who chooses to be homeless. So when you go in there, you have to try to help those that you can and try to get rid of the people who just want to destroy your area. And that's not even including the people who are just having hard times. Because some people, they were law-abiding citizens, and you see how the rents and everything are going up on everywhere, and they wind up living in a car. So it's a person-by-person fix. You can't just give a blanket over it. And then on top of that, as Lodi said, the state has rules on what we can do. So it's not a one fit solution for it. It's very hard to get the right thing done for the right person.
I think a lot has been said on this already, and I don't want to, repeat what everyone have said, but I agree. There are some various challenges to that. In my workspace, I've helped out people that you would never guess they're homeless. So it's not, there's no stereotypical person that's homeless, just as Councilor Warden's mentioning here. And it's not unique just to Rio Communities or Valencia County. We're seeing it all across the state. We're seeing it in multiple states, nationwide, really. And some of these people don't want help. Some of them do. I think it's part of a bigger issue, when we, not just as a city council, but also as citizens living in the state, lobbying our state legislators. And I think they're starting to understand that there's a bigger problem here. If all you do is put them on a bus and send them somewhere else, well, now you've just made a problem for another community. So that's not, very neighborly. And I know some of those people, they come here through the rail runner and such, but, finding ways, to get them help within the community. Or finding resources that they can actually go to, and there's many ways to go about that.
I'm going to agree with the mayor. I don't think anyone just wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to go out and be homeless today. A lot of people, through circumstances, like, for instance, a divorce, like Lauren said, medical, mental, I don't think they just go out and say, I just can't wait to get out there and be homeless. And another thing is, these are our brothers and sisters in Christ. And some of us need to be more compassionate, because when you're out there, God forbid, and you ask for a handout, you're going to want somebody to hand you something, give you a piece of bread, $1. So don't just look at those people like, God, I got to get up this morning and go be homeless, where I can't provide for myself and let everyone else take care of me. Now, there are some who might say that, because it might seem that I can live and don't have to pay rent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there might be, not for the most part. People just don't do that at will.
Okay, next question. And I'm going to go one more question after this, and then you guys can give a final statement after that next question. So, how would you work to promote economic growth and attract new businesses to your city?
So I think the most important thing, we want economic growth in this community. Plain and simple. We want more businesses. We want restaurants. We want retail. We want a grocery store. Believe me, I want a grocery store very, very much like everyone else. There are some challenges, to that, whether it's utilities or property or the list could go on and on, right? And so I think as a city government, our job really is, how do we foster an environment that creates a place that people want to be? And that's what we've worked on. We try to make our community as easy to be here, to streamline development and growth, because that's what we want. And it's interesting to hear from developers when they go to various communities and they tell me, or they speak to city staff and they say, well, how does this process work? I usually go someplace else and it takes 3 years to even get it before the planning and zoning. And well, it's real simple. You present this, you say you want to be on the agenda, we go through the process, and so they get really shocked, to find out that we're trying to be as friendly as we can, and that's what it comes down to.
Economic development. A person that used to run economic development for us, Ralph Mims, he used to say, rooftops, rooftops, rooftops. The more rooftops we get, then people see that we need a grocery store. Because we've sent out letters with all the councilmen's signatures on it saying, please come to town. The grocery store, we've been trying to push that since I've been on council, since before I became on council. We've been reaching out to everyone. So I've been going out to different developers to try to get them to build here. The more people build homes here, we get the rooftops. That's how we can get these other people to start coming in. So that's what we push to get more developers to build in town.
Yes, City of Rio Communities, small, quaint, Our motto is spectacular views and endless opportunities. Now, when it comes to economic development, that means property owners constructing retail outlets because the market demands certain services, certain products, and the city facilitates that from happening or to happen. And as a city councilor, I'd be very attuned to those individuals who are looking at business prospects and how the city can assist and facilitate their success in their business.
So I was on Rio Communities Economic Development for about 3 years. I am a full-time realtor. I have a client that is currently waiting response from our city now that purchased property in last December. I have seen multiple times where things are drug out 6 and 8 months. I think that with being a small city, procedures and policies can be implemented to get communication back to developers quicker. Rooftops are very important. We have data showing the number of rooftops we have. We need double that. So it might be time for us to not join with Belen, but have communication with the Belen Economic Development and see if we can push this side of the county, because I think that's the only way we will attract some things that are going into Las Lunas, is to work as a south side of the county together on economic development. Thank you.
Excuse me. I think for economic development, we have to have conditions that are conducive to business wanting to relocate to this area, which includes having a strong infrastructure. And I think that I believe that we do need growth to get to that point. But in the meantime, one of the other things that I know that businesses look at, they're looking for skilled workforce. And we have to show that we have something like that here, because they need workers if they're gonna bring a business in here. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is the infrastructure and just making it attractive to businesses, whether it's tax breaks, or other types of incentives to relocate to our area.
Yes, we paid Ralph Mims quite a bit of money to bring us businesses in, and we never got any that I'm aware of. So that was something that I'm glad that's over. I do think that we need to join with Belen and try to get businesses in both of these cities, get them coming into this direction, whether it's south on 304 into the county or whatever, something that we're working together to get businesses in here. I don't think that we have enough rooftops to attract the right kind of businesses that we want. I would love to see a hotel here. There's not a hotel in Belen that you can rent for the night for your family or in case you need to be displaced out of your home for any reason. There's so many things that we need here. And I just hope that whenever I'm elected that I could certainly get some of those businesses to give us a look. And I think we've just got to keep pounding on their doors.
Did everybody get to answer this one? Good? Okay. I forgot who's next. Who leads the last one? Who? Randomly? Start, last question? Okay. Okay, last question. And then they'll each make a statement. How do you feel about protecting people's civil rights?
Well, I believe in civil rights. I believe in the protection of our rights. I sometimes wonder with certain social aspects, are we going too far in certain directions? But I don't believe in violating people's. How do you answer that? That's a weird question. And of course, I had to get the mic on that one. But, hey, I'm all for civil rights.
Do you want me to take this, Judge? Okay. The Fourth and Fifth Amendment is what judges will have to ensure are established and looked at for a resident who is in front of or in the courts. So they are very important. Your rights are very important. My rights are very important. And it goes back to the city having policies and procedures for people that are going through code violations, and they are given the time and due process for all things. So thank you.
Civil rights, City of Rio Communities, planning and zoning, we're confronted with that often with residents coming in and voicing their concern about noise, about animals, speeding. You know, having the right to come and voice your concern is what the city is providing the residents, you, to come and voice your concern. That is exercising your civil rights, and the city is doing what it, pretty much what it needs to be doing to facilitate the avenue for individuals, residents to come and voice the concern. And then I, as a city, as a planning and zoning commissioner, do what I can to see to it that is addressed in an appropriate way, something that also supports the individual's civil rights. So I think the city's doing a pretty good job of supporting civil rights right now.
26 years as a police officer, I very strongly believe in civil rights. I've been protecting it all my life. Coming out here, joining with everyone here, I respect everyone, and I want everyone to have that same respect for everyone else. That is what we're supposed to do. Some people forget how that is done. But we all know that civil rights is very important. And we have to just learn to respect everyone. Because whatever you want for yourself, shouldn't you want that for someone else? It's just that simple. We just got to remind people, listen, wait your turn to speak. You know, that's all. If I don't listen to you, or you don't listen to me and I'm talking over you, you're not hearing what I'm saying. We were raised with that. Why can't we just do it? It's very important.
But when it comes to civil rights, you know, I support that. We need to protect that, plain and simple. Same as private property rights. And, you know, plain and simple, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated. It's that simple. You treat people with respect, and it goes a long ways. But we do have to protect those always, no matter what.
I too agree that civil rights are very important. I grew up in an area where my rights were, I didn't have those rights. I had to work for them. Just like my father and my grandparents, we worked to get civil rights during the Martin Luther King era. So a lot of you people don't know what people like me had to go through. So I believe in civil rights. I believe that everyone should be treated equally. And as a judge, I would do that. Not only the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, all of the amendments to the Constitution. And I've actually taken time to read them. So when we start talking civil rights, trust me, I will not step on yours if you don't step on mine.
Yes, as everyone else has said, I believe our civil rights are very important and they should be protected at all costs. And that's why we have the civil rights in the Constitution. I also believe that we should be kind to each other. I think that's where it starts. Do to others as you would have them do to you. I think that is very important, and we all need to be more kind to each other and try to make somebody else's day as we go throughout our own.
All right, thank you. to the candidates. Each candidate now has 1 minute to make a final statement. So is it okay if we just start right here? Okay.
All right. Again, my name is Joe Skelton. I appreciate your support and your vote whenever you get to the ballot box. You do have two choices, and I sure hope I'm one of those. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to meet with you after we get through here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Mary Jo Palmer. I would appreciate your support. I would definitely listen to what you have to say. If those of you who come into my store, and a lot of you do, would know my door is always open, and that's not just for my employees, it's for customers, it's for the community. I would address any of your concerns. I believe in the power of being conservative and fiscally, and I believe in responsibility. I believe that, like even when we were talking about civil rights, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of tired. I've had a long day, long week actually. But anyhow, with civil rights, it's not only rights, but if we have civil rights, we have civil responsibilities also. And I believe that, like she was saying, we do need to treat one another the way that we'd want to be treated. There has to be kindness and compassion with everyone. But if you ever have questions, please feel free to stop in and have a chat with me.
As municipal court judge, I would be committed to working with the city as long as the laws, the facts, and the ethical standards are followed and adhered to. With that being said, I want to say I was party to a phone call from a candidate that's sitting up here with me now, and I was really saddened to hear the lies and the coerciveness of this communication with a resident. I've had residents reach out and say that they're afraid to put signs in their yard. They're afraid to voice their opinions. You should never have that in this community. So please, if you're making calls to our voters, remember that they're our neighbors. And I would appreciate everybody for your support and your vote on Election Day. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Michael Melendez for City Council, and appreciate you all coming out tonight and getting to know us and giving us the opportunity, me the opportunity to speak to you. Again, just assure that the residents here, you come to the city planning and zoning or the city council with a concern, it is up to me as a city councilor to take your concern and see how the city can help you with that and help the city as a whole and improve our quality of life here in rural communities.
I am a civil servant by nature. My grandfather ran the PAL. He was a police officer. My father was a lieutenant at the police department. My brother and I served as police officers. We are civil servants. I came here to see how I can help the city. I'm trying to help as much as possible. Right now, Mary Jo made a statement, and it reminded me to even bring it up, that I'm working right now presently to try to get a workforce facility here in town, working with Berlin Board of Ed, Los Lunas, the college. We're all trying to work together so we can have trades. Because we get the trades, and it gives people a reason to stay. Because not everyone's going to go to college. But if you have a trade, you can work anywhere. But they're doing enough development around here that they'll stay right here. Build the houses, buy the houses right here in town. Right in the county. But leastways, everything stays right here. So that's why I'm hoping for your vote. And again, anyone wants to speak to me, I'll be happy to talk to you afterwards.
Well, I've enjoyed the evening. I've enjoyed the questions. I wish we had a little bit more time to answer those, but I understand time constraints, so I do look forward to engaging anyone after the meeting. Once again, my name is Joshua Ramsell. I'm currently the mayor here in Rio Communities, and over the last 4 years, we've seen a lot of good, positive change. And I hope to keep pushing the community forward in that direction, keep that change moving to the things that we want to have here. I live here with my family. After I graduated from UNM, we could have moved anywhere. My wife and I, we decided we were going to stay here due to some family health issues, and we decided we're going to put roots down here. And I want our community to have the things that it deserves. You know, I want my kids to have the police protection, the fire and EMS, the parks. I want parks, guys. Believe me, I have 3 little kids. I want parks. I want the street lighting. You know, I want all of these things that we all say that we want and desire. And we're working hard on that. And real quick, I just wanted to, you know, I know it was brought up earlier, but, you know, the Veterans Park, that's being funded through capital appropriations through the legislature, and that's currently being funded through oil and gas revenues. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that's not being funded through bonds. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Don't forget to vote November 4th, and hopefully you'll support me. Thank you.
So I too am a servant. I'm a military man. I have 3 brothers. We all served. I have an uncle. He served 30 years. I have a niece. She served 25 years. I did 15 years. I believe in this country. I believe in the community. That's why I'm here. I'm currently in the incumbent, and I was voted in. I haven't sat on the bench, but if you give me the opportunity, I would definitely work for you. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Candidates, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for answering the questions and just being open and available and vulnerable. So thank you guys. Thank you. Citizens of Rio Communities, thank you so much for being here. And I totally forgot what it is. I was going to do one more thing, and it is. And what they're running for? Okay. Are there a few people that would like to just say their name and what they're running for? Okay, let me grab the mic real quick. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Sharon Hageman, and I live here in Rio Communities, and I'm running for the Board of Supervisors for Valencia Soil and Water District. I've lived here since 2018. I have a 1/4 acre. I enjoy nature, and I've taken very many classes up in Santa Fe. I've taken passive solar, organic gardening, permaculture, and I've been volunteering for the last 6 years at Valencia Soil and Water District Whitfield Conservation Area, and I just finished my Master Naturalist class this summer up in Albuquerque. And my favorite thing is hiking and working in the mud and playing with my ducks and dogs. And I'm asking for your vote to improve the soil and water in Valencia County.
Hello, I'm Stephen Holdman. I'm currently city councilor in the city of Blinn, and I'm up for re-election this year. Unlike these fine gentlemen and ladies, though, I'm running unopposed, so I'm thankful for that. Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks for this opportunity. I'm Teresa Smith de Shreve. I'm running for re-election to the Valencia Soil and Water Conservation District Board. It's a non-paid position. I've served for 17.5 years. I've knocked on many of your doors. I want to tell you that you have a park. It's Whitfield Wildlife Conservation Area. It's right up the road. Over the last 2 years, I've written grants for our district worth $2.5 million. $2.1 million is going to bring infrastructure that is going to help this community grow. How do I know that? We are planning big events with our infrastructure. You're going to see birders come through here, ecotourism, more people to our area. That means more people right down the street to you. Our park was named Best Nature Park last year by readers of the Valencia County News Bulletin. I'm a public servant. I'm here for you. My name's Teresa Smith de Sharif. Please come and visit us. We'll be happy to give you a tour around Whitfield. We're here for you, and we can help with some of your erosion problems too. Thank you very much.
I'm not running for election, but I'm in place of Aloysia Tabbitt, who is running for the position on the UNM Advisory Board, but she's not listed, so it's a write-in candidate. Aloysia Tabbitt.
All right. Thank you so much again for coming. God bless you guys. Have an awesome night. Please stay. There's cookies in the lobby and waters if you would like. Please stay and interact with the candidates. Thank you for coming.